In episode 14 of Hiking the Continental Divide Trail, we depart Leadville, Colorado for the most epic leg yet. Braving perilous traverses over Kokomo Pass, we face extreme winds along the treacherous Argentine Spine, forcing a retreat. An overnight blizzard traps us in our tents for a grueling day-long wait. Undeterred, we ascend again, conquering Gray's Peak, the CDT's highest point, where majestic mountain goats greet us amid stunning alpine vistas. Join us for a heart-pounding adventure of resilience and triumph. We left the hotel and walked the short distance up the road to where Highway 24 leaves Leadville. No sooner did I take my pack off and plonked it on the ground than a lady in a white Subaru came around the corner and pulled over for us. This has to be a new hitching record. It was definitely less than 30 seconds. It was only a short 9-mile drive back to Tennessee Pass where I left the trail on Friday. It's an easy stroll to get back into the hiking as we head down what looks like an old railway route. Back on trail after an extended break in Leadville. Of course I had a delay on these new runners turning up. It was good to get an extended break. We leave this rail trail and cut down to a beautiful open valley. We walk along the tree line looking down onto the lush green grass while the snow-capped mountains rise in the distance. I scan the valley for wildlife thinking there has to be something out there, but nothing is sighted. I don't know what it is about first days back on trail after a break, but I don't feel that great. I'm packing out some leftover pizza from yesterday's lunch, and even though I haven't been going for long, I pull over for a slice, hoping this might pick me up a bit. Back behind us, there are very dark clouds rolling in. They envelop the mountain tops and soon they disappear into the gloom. Typically the rain catches up to us just before we reach our campsite. It's not too bad at this stage, but I hope I'm able to get to camp and get set up before it unleashes its fury. It is a bit strange to have such a short hiking day, but tomorrow it is back to being full on. First up is to get to Kokomo Pass, and then we rise higher to Breckenridge. The big unknown at this stage is what the snow will be like up that high. It has been reasonably warm lately, and with our extended break, hopefully more snow will have melted away. Tomorrow we will find out. This is the difference between good and evil. I'm on the light side versus the dark side. On my way up to Kokomo Pass, you might see it there in the background. You can just see the trail just leading through that bare patch of snow there in the middle to the left there. Climbing pretty high, up about 11,500 feet. Still got to go to 12.2 over the top of Breckenridge, but getting there. I took a tumble crossing the second little stream today. I'm not even sure what really happened. 1 minute I'm up and the next I'm down. I must have slipped on the rock midstream and down I went. I was desperately hanging on to a little bush on the other side to stop myself from rolling backwards into the stream, backpack and all. Made it to the top of Kokomo Pass. 12,022 feet. As we pan around here, still got to go up a bit higher, up over Breckenridge. Going back to my fall, while I managed to save myself from rolling in totally, my feet naturally went in and got wet. The worst of it is I've injured my right index finger. It's swollen and got quite black and blue as the day goes on. It's not the most comfortable thing trying to hold a trekking pole and climbing mountains. When I get a chance, I consult with my sister Louise back in Australia, who's a doctor. She thinks it's most probably broken. It's painful and bothersome, but what do? You just have to keep on trekking. Oh, this is what happens when you lose your shoe. It's stuck down a hole under a rock. I'm at the top of Kokomo Pass. That's the view back from where we came from. Oh, a bit windy. And that's the view looking forward. Not sure where we're going just yet, but doesn't look like fun. After Kokomo Pass, we drop down through a valley and come out at a beautiful cabin named Janet's Cabin. This is available to rent and would be a great weekend holiday spot, but I think the only way to get to it, summer or winter, is to hike in. The first 12 k's or 7.5 miles have taken about 5 hours or so it's been slow going and hard work, but some of the views have been absolutely stunning. The beavers are carving this river up. There's so many beaver dams down there. I've already passed a couple upstream as well. Check this out. In the middle of a ski field. I assume this is Copper Mountain ski field. After Janet's Cabin, the trail reappears, although it is mostly covered in snow patches for quite some way. We stop for lunch and I decide not to change out of my wet socks, thinking the snow will continue. But as we head down Gullah Creek, the trail emerges more and more and soon the snow mostly disappears. The sun is out and it is quite warm now. Chip Crusher and I discussed that we won't be long before we are in Wyoming, and we'll probably be complaining about the heat. There's always something to complain about, no doubt. The trail continues down to Copper Mountain Resort and we call in for some afternoon refreshments. The village is mostly closed as the snow around here is nearly all gone. But the grocery store is open, so I go in for a soft drink and ice cream. I opt for a bottle of Coke, hoping the sugar and caffeine will give me a boost as we head back uphill out of the resort. We only have 4 miles to complete for the day, but we must rise 1,500 feet. We head back up to 11,300 feet where we will set up camp for the night. Luckily the snow is patchy around here, and while there is not much room for a camp, we make do. This puts us in a good position to complete the climb tomorrow morning. Now that I feel I've got all my nighttime sleeping gear finally under control, last night got down to only 5 degrees Celsius, even though we camped at 11,300 feet. So naturally, I was peeling off layers through the night because it was too warm. There's just no pleasing some people. We've travelled 10 kilometres to get from Copper Mountain there to where we are. Can't really see those mountains in the background now, but that's what we came over yesterday. Pretty hairy cornice just there.
I'm pretty sure that's Breckenridge over there.
Ah, okay, we think that's Breckenridge over there. Now I'm getting rained on. Time to get the rain jacket out, I think. It was an interesting start to the day with deep snow covering the trail early on through the trees, but once we got up higher through the tree line it was not too bad and only had to be tackled in sections. The top of the ridge maxed out at 12,490 feet, and we were lucky that the last section up high was snow-free. That all changed, however, when we crossed over to the other side of the mountain. On first inspection, it was all snow and dangerous looking. Straight into a traverse with an extremely steep drop-off had me very worried. This definitely did not look safe. Alright, here's Chip Crusher the legend, who has just led us across, I don't know, that had to be about a mile, maybe a traverse, across this icy, steepish slope, steep in places, but did a great job. Just did the big slide down there. Pretty dark and grey and gloomy day. But we're heading that way. Well, this is turning out to be some day. After a big climb early on, then that massive traverse, and now we're back in the trees amongst the snow. You can see behind me where we've come down from. Sometimes post-holy, sometimes you're up on top of it. Bit of both, not too bad. I'm always amazed at how a day can change so much. Terrain and circumstances. It's a bit of a crooked bridge. When you think where we've just come from, not that far away, not that far ago. I'm not sure that was grammatically correct, but anyway. Across the top of that mountain, way above the tree line, snow, sketchy traverse, and then you drop back down, the usual pattern, back into the trees, deeper snow amongst the trees, and then you persist with that for a while, and eventually you come out the other side, and eventually the trail returns. Now I'm just walking down through this forest. Just so you know, the scenery is not always fantastic, amazing, all those words. Bit of clear felling going on here. It's pretty wild and woolly up there now. I'm glad I'm not up there at the minute. It sort of came down, I think, through that pass there. I'm going to go over that tree. I think I crossed those mountains through there. We come off trail at Gold Hill Trailhead at Highway 9. It is now pouring with rain, and I make my way to the bus stop to meet up with Chip Crusher. The plan is to catch the free bus into Frisco, but we just miss it, and now we have to wait another hour for the next one. Luckily, a mountain biker is taking shelter from the rain, and she informs us her husband is on his way to pick her up in the car. She kindly offers to take us to Frisco, and when he turns up, we all pile in, nursing our backpacks on our lap, and make our way into town. We are stopping here in Dillon for the night and then are back out on trail tomorrow. After a quick resupply top up, I'm ready for the biggest section of the CDT over the next 60 miles that's coming up. 2 peaks over 14,000 feet, lots of trail above 13,000 feet, plus some ridge running as well as the Argentine Spur. Look out, here we come. Out with the old and in with the new. These shoes are only 30 days old and they're gone. That's all peeling off, no tread left, and starting to get tears and holes in them. These are new ones. I haven't done a very good job calculating my next water source. It's been pretty dry as we trek up this mountain. But thankfully this polar snow's turned up, so I've gathered some of that just there, as you can see, and hopefully that'll melt as we head further along.
Yeah, this is like deja vu. I got water like the same thing last year. I don't know why. I should have left a comment or something, a note in the thing or something. I don't know.
There's no water up here. If you're wondering what all these logs are doing chopped up on the ground, it is all to do with pine beetle that's going through and ravaging all the forest here in Colorado especially. So they get into the timber and obviously kill the trees, and then the trees become hazards in themselves, in danger of falling over. I do believe a couple of hikers have even been injured by falling trees. Anyway, so the Forest Service has come in and just chopped up heaps of those trees close to the trail just to mitigate that danger from a falling tree. Pretty good day today. Did 22 Ks, 5 hours and a half, 5:40 or something like that. Not too bad considering we started after lunch. And it was mostly climbing uphill. You know, the first 18, 19 Ks, 18 Ks were probably all uphill. Then there was a couple of Ks across the top of the mountain, which was undulating, which was pretty good. Like the whole walk today was very good considering we were going uphill. The gradient was really accommodating, so it was a good day. It was nice walking through the forest. Only problem was, as I said earlier, messed up with the water, but wasn't too bad. Got some snow, and then not long after that we sort of, Little Creek turned up, so that was okay. But moving on, the good news for tonight is what's on the menu for dinner. And as I reach down here, I will pull out a Wendy's barbecue cheeseburger. How good is it? I start the day with some trepidation, for today we head up a number of peaks and passes over 13,000 feet. The next couple of days are all at very high elevation. I'm not sure what the trail has in store for me, and sometimes you worry unnecessarily about what might happen. Regardless, today is going to be a big day, so we'll see how it pans out. This is our 360 degree view from Whale Peak, which is 3,979 metres in elevation, or 13,060 feet, something like that. View is incredible. We're so lucky to have such a nice day. Soon we come to a section that remains above 13,000 feet for about 14 miles. We are at a critical time of the day, as it is not long after lunch and the question arises about where we will camp. We plan to take the Argentine Spine alternate, and there is some form of hut up high we could use as shelter. On the ground lies a "Do Not Enter" sign. This proves to be prophetic. I wonder if this sign is a sign. As we're about to go, and it's howling wind. This is what you call rocky terrain. I've come over that hilltop over the back, over to there, along this ridge, the other side, back to Honest, back up over that ridge, and now I've come down there, straight up over that sort of peak and then winding round to the left back over that little red mountain over there. Further up the mountain after taking this shot, the wind picks up dramatically. The higher we go, the more extreme it becomes. It's pushing me sideways with huge gusts. It's so ferocious it's now impeding our progress. We realise it will be impossible once we are on top of the ridge. We are only 100 feet from the top when it is decided that it is not smart or safe to carry on, but what to do. We look around for any spots that might shield us from the wind down the slope, but there really is nothing suitable. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but in the end, the only alternative is to retreat down the mountain back to the tree line. I just have to pause it here and explain this shot. This is what happens when you're setting up your tent and you forget that you're rehydrating your meal and put it inside your puffy jacket to keep it warm. When I whipped up the puffy jacket, the whole dehydrated meal was strewn everywhere. What a nightmare, and it did go everywhere. Sleeping bag, pillow, jacket, the lot. But what do? Just have to scrape it all up and it all goes down just the same. Just with a few added extra crunchy bits for good measure. Eventually I get everything wiped down and cleaned up, and I'm lucky the sun is still out, so that helps getting things dry pretty quickly. I pile everything back into the tent and start again. Immediately I note to self, never put dinner in the tent again. It's a whiteout. That's the view looking back up to the ridge that we were up on yesterday. It's a whiteout, alright. What a night. Just a blizzard, howling wind all night. The day continues. It's got sunny, but the snow and the wind is not giving up. Crazy out there. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon now. As you can see, it stopped snowing, but the wind hasn't given up. That's the ridge which we've got to cross over. I was hoping it would have less snow than it actually appears now, which is a bit of a worry for tomorrow. But we'll wait and see. The dawn has arrived and we made it through the night, and I face a classical dilemma between the head and the heart. The head says play it safe and bail out down the valley, but the heart says continue on up, for this section to Gray's Peak is one of the most iconic on the CDT. The wind is still blowing very strongly, but at least it's not as dangerously as yesterday. The forecast continues to say the weather will improve, but there is not much sign of that just yet. It is -3 degrees Celsius and the wind is bitterly cold. After a brief discussion with Chip Crusher, in the battle between the head and the heart, we find for the heart and it is decided, up we go. Alright, plan is up this ridge line and then all the way across the top. Keep going, follow that one all the way along, up over that, and then to the high peak, Gray's Peak, 14,000 and something feet. It takes us about an hour to get back to where we left off, and so far the snow is not causing any difficulties. The biggest problem is the freezing wind. It is biting and painfully cold. My fingers are frozen and it's just a case of getting them under my armpits whenever I can to ease the pain. The wind chill factor must be at least 10 to 15 degrees colder than when we started out. The Argentine Spine, and it is the steepest, longest climb, bar none, that I've done. Oh, but we're nearly there. Clear out that way. Where it isn't, and then it's clear out there. We're right on top of Landslide Peak. At least it's cleared up a little bit. The sun's coming out. Fingers are still freezing. Just dug down. Legs are still moving by those rocks. It's still roaring. That we've just come across over that peak, down that steep bit. Huge mountains in the background. Yes folks, up that peak is where we're going. Top of Argentine Peak, about 13,700 feet I think. In my background there is Gray's Peak and Tory's Peak. They're over 14. It's late in the, I can't talk. It's late in the day, about 3 o'clock, so we're pushing for time. It's taken a long while to get up to here, but we'll keep moving. On our way to Gray's Peak, we tackled and triumphed over the following summits and passes. The first summit was at 13,200 feet, then Landslide Peak at 4,028 metres, Geneva Peak 13,245 feet, Sullivan Mountain 3,999 metres, Santa Fe Peak 13,186 feet. We went around the top of Silver Mountain, around the top of Revenue Mountain, Decatur Mountain 3,930 metres, Argentine Peak at 13,734 feet, then the Argentine Pass at 4,025 metres, Mount Edwards at 13,839 feet, and culminating in Grays Peak at 4,352 metres or 14,254 feet. Look what we found way up here. Crazy. Oh, not happy.
Slow down, it's not like it was nothing.
If only I could get up and down the mountains like these two. After coming upon the two mountain goats in very close proximity, which was awesome to see, it's then on to the Knife Edge Ridge, which is extremely steep, both uphill and down. After this, it is finally onto the mountain of Grays Peak, and it seems to go on forever. But finally, at just after 7 PM, I make it to the top. Chip Crusher is already there waiting for me. I don't think I'd be up here if not for his support. Through the tricky technical sections, of which there were many, I noticed he was always sure to hang back just to make sure I got through them safely. Thanks heaps, CC. Made it to the top of Grays Peak. It's been a long day. 12 hours 45 minutes to do 24.5 k's. It's just been up and down mountains all day. Grays Peak's about 4,300 and something feet, 14,250-ish feet I mean, 43 metres. There's the 360. We're so lucky in the afternoon. Normally storms roll in Colorado at this time, but even the wind, it's probably a bit gusty on the video, but it's been really accommodating. What an incredible 13 hours it's been. We are blessed that there is almost no wind now. It's getting a bit chilly, but I'm just so thankful to have made it to this point. So it's quick photos all round, and it is time to get down from here. We still have 3.5 miles to descend to get down to the trailhead and then find a campsite. The first part of the trail is all covered in snow on the way down, but thankfully, someone has already made the post holes for us. This is the view on the way down. It's getting late, 7:15. We head out down through that valley there, down through the trees. But we're not dropping that much elevation, so looks like it's going to be a pretty cold night tonight, wherever we find a camp. Look at the little picker.
Not really.
as I look back. On the right is Torrey's Peak, on the left is Grace, which we crossed. You can see the little zigzag switchbacks in the mountainside that we came down. It's getting quite chilly now. Once you dip out of the sun. But not too much longer to get to camp, only about a mile and a half, so half an hour. At the trailhead, it is now dark and the car park is quite full. A quick look around reveals there are a number of tents set up with people all ready for the ascent tomorrow. So even after 15 hours of hiking, it's a case of having to continue on farther down the road to the next campsite. Walking amongst the trees, it is almost pitch black, and while we are talking, we overshoot the campsite and then have to turn around and head back uphill a short distance until we're finally here. It's now 9:15 p.m. What an epic day. After 15 and a quarter hours, the tent still needs to go up and I'm starving, so I boil some water for dinner. When it's all said and done, it's now 10:30 p.m. and the most unbelievable day has come to an end. You won't believe where I went today, for not even I believe it myself. After yesterday's massive day, today we get to take it easy and head into the towns of Dillon and Silverthorne. It's funny, we have just been on a massive odyssey climbing the highest peak on the CDT, but we have just gone in a big loop and ended up back where we were a few days ago. Still, after yesterday's effort, I'll happily take an easy day and enjoy the comforts of town some more. The plan was to be back out on trail today, but the weather forecast has another big storm rolling in this afternoon. As we are headed back up onto an exposed ridgeline over 13,000 feet, it was decided to err on the side of caution and we wait another day where the weather is supposed to be clear. I think getting stuck in one snowstorm is probably enough. With an extra day up my sleeve, I thought it would be a good idea to go and check out the nearby ski village of Breckenridge.